There's a lot of air in our conversation today as we talk about puffed foods with Danny Belmer, a food engineer here at the Food and Ag Product Center. And Danny, let's talk about the kind of process that is used to make these puffed foods and snacks that we all like.
Okay, believe it or not, most puffed foods are actually made using thermodynamics. So we created dough, and we put that dough under high heat and pressure. And then when that dough is exposed to the atmosphere, it sees a sudden drop in pressure, and that pressure change causes the water inside the product to want to flash evaporate. And so typically this is done in an extruder.
Tell me what an extruder is and how it works.
So an extruder is basically a screw auger inside of a heated barrel that the dough is processed through. At the end of that barrel is a die, and the die will be shaped like whatever product you want to make. And again, as the dough exits that die, it puffs, and a rotating knife will cut the puff off, and you have a great product.
So for example, these onion snacks, how would those work in the extruder?
Okay, so as the dough goes through the extruder, the die shape would be an annular shape. So the dough just comes out in this circle, and it's cut off right at the end in a bunch of little circles.
Now, what are the ingredients in the puff snacks, and how do we get the flavors?
So believe it or not, most of them are made with just cornmeal and water to form the dough. And then after they're puffed and cooked, the added flavors come in a tumbler where the flavorings are put in. Those might include cheese, onion powder, garlic powder, lots of salt, but they're all pretty much the same.
And so that's the puff part. How do we get the crunchy part?
Okay, so you can kind of see a difference between the puffiness in the standard cheese puffs and the crunchy puffs. All that we do for the crunchy one is at the end of the extruder, the dough is actually twisted and pulled so that it's elongated in this weird shape. And so there's not nearly as much air in it, and you get a much crunchier product.
That's all there is to it.
That's it.
Very interesting. Well, either way, they taste great. Thanks a lot, Danny.